Paul kind of touches on, in the first reading, on the irony of the fact that he was chosen to be the apostle to the Gentiles. And there seems to be some irony in this because, as he says, he was one who persecuted the church with great zeal. That means he took great pride in what he was doing to root out and persecute Christ's church and eliminate them. And yet he was the one chosen to be an apostle of Christ. Why? When you look at it, there are so many other people that Christ could have called and chosen for a task like this. He could have chosen one of the 12, one of those who were with him and walked with him in his ministry and knew the gospel teachings because they had heard it from him. Why would he choose someone like this to be his apostle? Well, because he chose Paul that Paul came to know the truth. And how many more people came to know the truth because of Paul's conversion? And that's what Christ is telling his apostles. That is the purpose for which he came into the world. Not to seek out the righteous who didn't need repentance, but to seek the lost, to seek the sinners, so that everyone would have an opportunity to come before God and receive his repentance. When people ask me, do you think God could ever forgive me? Is it really possible that I can really be forgiven in my life? This is the story that I look to. The people who got offended by the fact that Jesus was greeting sinners and tax collectors and that he would sit down and eat with them. It was scandalous to see him doing that. His response was, you don't understand. That's why I came. I came into the world for them, because they deserve salvation as much as anyone else. He came into the world not to condone and approve of what they were doing with their lives, but to show them that they could have something better. To show all of us that we can have something better in our lives. That whatever is binding us and keeping us from knowing him, he came to set us free. And that's the great example here. When we see this great example of Paul, someone who with great zeal sought out Christ's church and tried to wipe it out, and yet because Christ called to him, became a convert and brought so many people to the truth. And that's what he's inviting each one of us to do. He's inviting each one of us to come into the light, to know the truth, and be set free from whatever is keeping us from knowing him.